If you've ever thought that a good morning message is just a courtesy, let me tell you that you're letting a powerful opportunity slip away. In reality, that little message can be the spark that ignites his interest throughout the day. Or you can seal your place in the corner of oblivion without him thinking twice. It's like flipping a coin. If it lands heads, you're the first thing on his mind. If it lands tails, you go unnoticed, just another one. But what if you could change the rules of the game? What if instead of leaving it to chance, every word you send is designed to touch his most emotional side, to activate his curiosity, so that he thinks about you before even fully opening his eyes? Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, said that words are symbols loaded with meaning. They are not just letters grouped together, but keys that open doors in the unconscious. When you understand that, your messages are no longer simple texts. They become emotional experiences. Epictetus said that it's not what happens to us that affects us, but how we interpret it. Jung would agree. The power lies not in the message, but in the emotional interpretation it awakens. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 good morning messages that are not just simple phrases. They are formulas that activate areas of his mind associated with interest, attraction, and intrigue. They are designed to break the pattern of predictability and plant a seed in his head that grows throughout the day. Have you ever written with excitement, expecting a response, and the only thing you received was absolute emptiness, not even a seen notification? It hurts. But before you blame him, stop for a second. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was your message. Generic messages are the emotional equivalent of a closed door. Think about it. If a stranger simply said, "Hi, how are you?" would you feel motivated to respond enthusiastically? Surely not, because there's no real stimulus. It doesn't provoke anything. It doesn't make you feel seen, special, or connected. Worse yet is when the message conveys need. "Good morning, handsome. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope we can meet soon. Sorry if I'm bothering you. I just wanted to say hi." Although it may seem sweet, what he reads is, "My attention is here for you without you having to do anything for it. I'm here waiting for you." And that, dear one, far from attracting him, extinguishes desire. Jung spoke of how we project our needs onto others unconsciously, and in that unconscious reflection, we end up pushing away what we want to bring closer. Marcus Aurelius said that the value of a person is measured by what they contribute. The same happens with your messages. If they don't generate emotional value, they're forgotten in seconds. Now, how do you create a message that makes him stop, smile, and think of you? There's a formula. It should generate emotion, curiosity, fun, and intrigue. Examples include, "You won't believe what I dreamed about you last night." "Something happened yesterday that reminded me so much of you, I'm still laughing." "Something amazing made me think of you this morning, and you won't guess what it was." "Don't worry, you're not alone in this. I'm here to help." I'm going to share 7 messages that provoke real interest, that shake him out of his routine, and without him even realizing, make him wait for you. Get ready, because this is where everything starts to change. Let's begin with the first one, the power of mystery. When you give too much away from the start, you lose charm. Have you ever sent a message hoping for a reaction, only to receive a dry ha-ha that went nowhere? That happens because you revealed everything. It's like watching the trailer of a movie and hearing the ending in the first few seconds. You lose interest. Jung said that the most powerful thing in the unconscious is what isn't clearly seen, what remains veiled, because mystery activates the imagination. And where there's imagination, there's attraction. And that's where your advantage begins. A message full of mystery is like a slightly open door that he can't resist pushing. One of the most effective messages you can use is, "Good morning. You won't believe what I dreamed about you last night." Why does this work so well? Because it activates a natural mechanism of the human mind. The brain hates gaps in information. When something is left incomplete, When there's no clear answer, the mind keeps searching for it. This is what Carl Jung described as the power of archetypes and symbols. What is not fully understood becomes fascinating. This message will catch his attention without you having to insist. His mind will start asking questions. What could he have dreamed about? Was it something romantic, fun, intense? And without realizing it, he's already thinking about you. But here comes the golden rule. Don't respond immediately when he asks. Give space to his imagination. Leave him in suspense. You can reply later with something like, "It was too interesting to share over a message. Want to guess what it was?" That little dose of mystery creates an emotional experience that marks him because in the end, he won't remember exactly what you said, but he will remember how you made him feel. Let's move to the second message, the one that touches the heart. If you don't connect with his emotions, you become just another one. Have you ever felt like you were talking and talking with a man, but the conversation never went beyond the superficial? Like the words floated but never touched anything deep? Carl Jung said that repressed emotions don't disappear. They just hide and later surface in unexpected ways. In relationships, the emotional is the invisible fire that sustains the connection. A powerful message to ignite this flame is, "Good morning. I hope today is a day full of achievements for you. Tell me, what's your biggest dream right now?" This type of message breaks through the surface. You're offering something real, authentic, something that invites him to open up. Because everyone, absolutely everyone, wants to feel understood and valued. And if you're the woman who gives him that space, he'll remember you in a special way. Now pay attention. When he shares his dream, don't interrupt or downplay it. Listen, validate it, celebrate his vision. You can reply with something like, "That sounds incredible. What made you interested in that?" This simple interaction deepens the bond more than 1,000 empty compliments. Because, dear one, anyone who knows how to touch the heart doesn't need to shout to be remembered. Now let's move on to the third message. Awaken his creativity. If you manage to get him to imagine with you, you'll be much closer to conquering his emotional attention. Has it ever happened that certain conversations stay with you for days and make you smile, even without realizing it? Words can paint worlds. Jung spoke of how fantasy and imagination are bridges to the unconscious, and it's there, precisely, where true desire is born. A message that activates this power is, "Good morning. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?" His mind will travel instantly. Maybe he visualized a quiet beach, a city he dreams of visiting, an exciting experience, and you will be there in that mental scene he has created. This is so powerful because the emotion he feels at that moment becomes linked to you. And when an emotion is attached to a person, that person becomes unforgettable. The final trick. When he responds, don't close the topic. Let it grow. If he says Paris, don't just respond with "how lovely." Say something like, "Wow, I imagine you walking through Montmartre with a cup of coffee in hand. Do you like French culture?" You are expanding his vision, deepening the image, and leaving an emotional imprint. And that, my dear, is what makes the difference between being just another conversation or a woman he can't get out of his head. Let's move to the fourth message. Awaken his intrigue. Curiosity is a powerful emotional hook, and when it's activated, it will make him think of you much more than you imagine. Has anyone ever told you, "We need to talk," and your mind immediately filled with 1,000 questions? Exactly. That's the effect you should provoke, but in a positive way. A good message for this would be, "Good morning. I just remembered something that made me see you in a new light." See? He won't be able to avoid asking, "What was it? What changed? What did you think? Was it something good? Something intriguing?" Carl Jung talked about the collective unconscious as that place where we all share symbols, emotions, and ideas. And this type of message touches right there, activating a sense of expectation, an unfinished story that he will want to uncover. The key is not to resolve everything immediately. Play with suspense. You could follow up with something like, I'm not going to tell you yet, but believe me, you'll like knowing it. That creates anticipation, and anticipation in the language of attraction is addictive. Has it ever happened that someone left you a message without giving all the details, and without realizing it, you couldn't stop thinking about what was missing? That feeling of wanting more, of needing to know, is what keeps the desire alive. Attraction works the same way. As Jung said, what isn't revealed becomes a symbol, and symbols trap us. The hidden awakens more desire than the obvious. Here comes an ideal message to activate that intrigue. Good morning. Something incredible happened last night, and it made me think of you. I'll tell you later. As soon as he reads it, his mind starts working. What happened? Why did you think of me? Was it something fun, intense, intimate? It's like opening a window to something special without letting him see the full view. That's the magic. This type of message creates what's called an open mental thread. He won't be able to let go of the idea until he gets an answer. It's like leaving a song unfinished. The mind wants to complete the melody. Now, don't make the mistake of telling him everything immediately. When he asks, respond with something like, "I'm not sure if I should tell you yet, but it was something that made me smile a lot." That increases the suspense and makes him invest more emotion in you. Jung explained that what remains hidden in the unconscious gains strength over time. Whoever controls the pace of the conversation also controls the attraction. Now let's move on to the fifth message, the one that reignites emotions with a touch of nostalgia. The past, when touched subtly, has immense emotional power. Has it ever happened that you listen to a song, and without realizing it, you feel the same way you did on that day with someone? Memories have scent, taste, and temperature. Just one detail is enough for everything to come back. Epictetus said that it doesn't matter so much what we live, but how we remember it. Carl Jung, for his part, talked about the power of emotional symbols that we carry from the past. If you manage to make him relive a special memory with you, real or imagined, you become anchored to a positive emotion. Here's a message that touches that button. Good morning. Today I remembered when we went to the park. It was so special. And what if we repeat it? This message touches two emotional strings at the same time. Nostalgia by reminding him of a beautiful moment, automatically bringing that emotion back, and anticipation by suggesting to relive it. You're opening the door to a future date. And if you don't have a shared memory yet, that's okay. You can build a fictional one, but still emotionally real. For example, if you ever talked about the beach, you can say, "Today, I imagined walking on the beach at sunset with the sound of the sea and a gentle breeze. And for some reason, I saw you there. Would you like to make it real?" This not only creates an emotional connection, but also places you as part of his emotional universe, even if nothing has happened between you two yet. Because in the end, what we feel is stronger than what has actually occurred. Sixth message, compliments that hook. It's not about telling him he's handsome, it's about making him feel unique. A true compliment is like a well-thought-out gift. It's not generic, it's personal. Imagine it. There are two types of gifts, one standard that anyone could give, and another that only someone who knows you well could choose. Which one would you remember? Exactly. Compliments work the same way. Marcus Aurelius said that every human seeks recognition, but few receive it authentically. If you can offer that, you stand out effortlessly. Here's a powerful message. Good morning. You know what I admire most about you? That way you have of seeing the fun side of everything. It's contagious. This message has 3 key points. It's specific. You don't say something vague like, "You're cute." You talk about a real quality. It's authentic. He will feel like you're paying attention to him, and it makes him think of you every time he does what you've complimented him for. And remember, never use generic or exaggerated compliments like, "You're the most incredible man on the planet." That sounds empty, even desperate. Think of something he does without realizing it, something you find charming. It could be his way of laughing, how he talks about his passions, or how serious he gets when something matters to him. When you give an authentic compliment, you create an emotional mark. And the woman who leaves an emotional mark is the one he can't get out of his mind. Have you ever noticed how he moves his hands when explaining something with enthusiasm, or the passion with which he expresses himself when talking about something he truly loves? Those small gestures that many overlook are valuable signals of his essence, of his authenticity. And when you manage to notice those details and let him know, something changes. People are naturally attracted to those who make them feel truly seen and recognized. If he perceives that you value something in him that most don't notice, he will remember you every time he repeats that gesture. Carl Jung said that we all have a deep, most unconscious desire to be recognized in our entirety, not just for what we show, but also for who we are in our intimacy. And when someone manages to see us like that, they become unforgettable. Now, we arrive at the seventh and final message. And believe me when I say this might be the most powerful of all. It's about the message that awakens expectation and anticipatory emotion. Anticipation is one of the most potent ingredients of desire. Have you ever waited so eagerly for something that you couldn't stop thinking about it? Perhaps a date, a surprise gift, or a reunion. Waiting, when charged with emotion, turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Imagine being in your favorite restaurant, sitting down, ready to enjoy your favorite dish. But instead of bringing it to you immediately, the waiter smiles and says, "Today we have something special created just for you, but it's a surprise." That unexpected pause doesn't frustrate you. On the contrary, it intensifies your desire. The more you desire something, the more significance it acquires. When it finally arrives, Seneca stated that things that come too easily are rarely valued, and Jung expanded on this idea by explaining that what remains hidden, what is yet to be revealed, powerfully stimulates our unconscious. That's why, if you manage to awaken in him the emotion of waiting for something of yours, a detail, a story, a surprise, you'll have gained his attention in a much deeper way than with any direct words. An example of a message that generates this feeling could be something as simple as, "Good morning, I'm preparing a surprise for you. You have no idea how much I look forward to seeing your face when you discover it." This short phrase activates three very powerful emotional mechanisms. First, it immediately sparks curiosity because he will want to know what you're preparing. Second, it will keep you present in his mind throughout the day, feeding thoughts and scenarios about what it could be. And third, it gives you total control of the narrative, because now he will be waiting for something that only you can reveal at the moment you choose. Here's a secret that many overlook. You don't need to have a big surprise for this to work. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift or a spectacular event. Sometimes a small gesture filled with intention is enough. It could be a meaningful image that reminds him of a conversation you had, a special song, an emotional message, or even a drink you know he likes. The magic isn't in the object itself, but in the way you wrap it with emotion. True connection is built with intention, not grand gestures. If there's one thing you should remember from this video, it's this. The words you choose can be bridges or barriers. Every message you send has the power to open a door to a sincere connection, or to close it without you even realizing. The most common mistake many women make is resorting to generic messages that are empty of emotion, which provoke nothing. And when emotion isn't provoked, interest isn't awakened. Without interest, the conversation simply fades away. The 7 messages I showed you today aren't superficial phrases. They are carefully thought out formulas designed to activate real emotions: curiosity, intrigue, nostalgia, creativity, deep connection, authentic recognition, and anticipated desire. They are based on real psychological principles, like those defended by Jung, who understood that the symbolic and emotional are key in our human relationships. When you know what to say and how to say it, you don't need to insist for him to respond. On the contrary, it will be him who wants to keep talking to you. Now I invite you to tell me in the comments, which of these 7 messages did you find most powerful? Which one would you like to try first? Write the number of your favorite, and if you have any messages that have worked for you in the past, share them as well. This community grows when we exchange real ideas and authentic experiences. If you want to keep learning how to improve your communication skills, if you feel like sometimes your conversations don't progress, or you just can't seem to stand out among so many, I invite you to subscribe now and activate the bell icon. YouTube doesn't always recommend these videos, but if you activate the bell, you make sure not to miss any valuable content. And before finishing, an extra tip. If you still start conversations with, "Hi, how are you?" Zrenia, let me tell you that you might be closing doors without even knowing it. That message, no matter how polite, rarely generates emotion. If you want to learn how to start conversations that truly grab attention and generate authentic responses, click on the video that's appearing now on the screen. There, I show you exactly what to say to avoid being ignored and start creating real connections today. You have two paths before you. Continue sending the same old messages, hoping that something magical happens, or start applying what you learned today. Take control of your conversations and see how little by little your presence begins to leave an impact. I'll see you in the next video, and always remember, a woman who knows what to say never goes unnoticed.